usually to ideas that somehow grow inside of me, both things that are very personal and really existential, issues that any human being will face regardless of where you come from. My work is a series of questions that I frame, but I don't have an answer. So that's the way people should also look at my work, as a series of questions, really. And particularly because it is about a part of the world that I don't even live in. It really stems from a very, very personal source and eventually becomes much bigger than myself. I consider myself an artist of fiction, whether I'm doing photography or video or film, because I see a lot of power in fiction. I think there are people who work in more documentary nature, or there are academics who can speak about the truth. But I follow a lot of the footsteps of other artists who really believe that through the realm of fiction you can actually get closer to the truth. And you can also leave room for the audience to use their own imagination to draw meaning. Like Picasso once said, art is a lie that makes us realize the truth. And I believe in that sometimes fiction is much better as a way to talk about our reality. It's very meaningful for me to have this exhibition at Mathaf in Doha, because this marks my very first exhibition in the Middle East. Gives me an opportunity to share my work with the local people and perhaps others who not live very far from Qatar to come and visit. I'm very, very curious to get reaction from my local friends and people who are Muslim, people who are very aware of where my work stands in that intersection of beauty and poetry and emotional issues versus the socio-political and feminist issues. So I'm hoping that the show will spark a conversation more than anything. I think beyond what most people think, artists play a very crucial role today. Artists have a way of communicating and touching people that is not biased, that doesn't have an agenda, and has an ability to reach to people both in their heart and in their mind, opening up subjects that we can look at and talk about together. And I think fiction, art, has an ability to do that, to let people put aside their differences, their political views, their national and cultural differences, and just by that work of art come closer and understand that it's all about shared humanity. We all suffer, we all see violence, we all grieve, and yet we all celebrate life and we are blessed by many good things. I think the most important issue to insist on the young artists from the local community is to really find their own identity and not be so seduced by Western art, and trying to really pioneer something of their own language in terms of the visual arts. Of course, the Western art really dominates, and most of our education of contemporary art and modern art is based on that, like myself. But I think I have really struggled very hard to really be exposed to all these various things, but develop my own style and my own tradition. And I think that we as Muslim community, as the Middle Eastern community, we have such a rich history, and we need to just reflect on what is us and what belongs to us, and really invent our own ways of art making and not just follow trends, and because that's really a big trap.